In this video, I'm going to talk about core vocabulary boards, what they are, who they're for, and how to introduce them. Core vocabulary boards are a type of augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC. We use them with people who do not have verbal language or whose verbal language is still emerging. These boards contain the highest frequency words in English, so they can cover up to 80% of the words that we use every day. Core boards come in different sizes. The speech and language therapist will help to choose the right core vocabulary board for the user. Sometimes it may appear that there's an overwhelming amount of words on the page. We do this because we want to stay a step ahead of the person using it. We may even recommend a high-tech version of a core board at times. Core vocabulary boards are compatible with other types of AAC, and sometimes core vocabulary boards also include a fringe vocabulary. In this example, the fringe is a collection of pages that have been bound to the top of this board. The fringe vocabulary are words that you would use in specific situations, for example, people and places, whereas the core vocabulary are words that you would use in every situation. Here are some top tips for introducing a core board. Set aside some special time every day to practice this skill. It only needs to be about 5 minutes, and you need to make sure there are no distractions like the TV or a phone or radio or music. Just make sure it's you and your child, and that you give your child your full attention to practice using the core board, but not in a teaching way, in a fun and playful way. Your child will need adults to model how to use the core vocabulary board before they can use it spontaneously themselves, and this can take time. The core vocabulary board always needs to be within reach of your child. Remember, this is your child's voice. They will be limited as to what they can say if it's not within reach. Start by introducing a few key words. Once these have been practiced and then established, you can introduce some more words. Your speech and language therapist might help you to decide in which order to introduce words. The word you point to doesn't have to exactly match the one that you're saying. So for example, if you point to a tree and say, "That's an enormous tree," you could be pointing to the word big. You don't need to point to every single word that you say on the core vocabulary board. Your goal is to stay one step ahead of the child. So if your child is using single words, you want to be combining 2 words. And finally, make sure you always speak while you're using the core vocabulary board. We want to establish a really strong connection between verbal speech and the pictures on the board.